What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I am here for the first time in history to use a Pat McCrath palette. This is the Pat McCrath Celestial Divinity palette, and I had so many comments and DMs from you guys asking if I was going to review this palette or do some looks with it, and I was like, but why? Like, you guys have never asked me about a Pat McCrath palette before, ever. But the reason behind it was because this Pat McCrath palette is only $78, which is, although an extremely expensive palette, really on the low end for Pat McCrath. So obviously you guys were trying to jump on the opportunity to try the brand without spending the exponentially even higher price tag that often comes along with these palettes, and I get that. And so we're here and we're trying it today. My left eye is already watering the makeup that I did off. Allergies are just really kicking my ass right now. I am very allergic to ragweed, and when I looked up ragweed this morning on my weather app, the level said extreme. It was like X Games, like Mountain Dew levels of extreme. So I think that's the problem that we've got going on here. Barbara is in the building. Although historically speaking, Barbara is the inner corner of my right eye when she waters and ruins everything. So this like maybe needs a different name. I think one of you called her Myrtle once, and I feel like that's fitting. But anyway, I'm just gonna dab my face off with a paper towel while I let you guys know that anything that you want to know about what I use on my face will be listed in the description down below. I will timestamp each of the looks so you can come back to them and recreate them if you want. What else is going on? You should subscribe if you haven't already, because I would like it and I think you'd like it. And also, if you do like it, you should leave a like on this video. Wow, that so many likes came out of my mouth. But yeah, the plan is I'm going to do 2 looks with this palette today, and then at the end I will let you know what I think of it. It's usually how the format of these videos go, but I'm especially going to like let you know my thoughts because I've never used this brand before, and that's fun. I like that, and you guys seem to enjoy the new adventures too. So before this completely waters off of my face, let's just get into it. Look number 1 with the Pat McCrath Labs Celestial Divinity palette. So here is the outside packaging of the palette, and here's what it looks like on the inside. It is definitely very luxurious feeling, but I don't think it's quite as luxurious feeling as I was expecting it to be from what everybody says about the Pat McCrath palettes. However, I do understand that maybe this is a little bit different considering that it is cheaper than a lot of the other palettes. So I don't know, maybe they toned down the packaging a little bit. Either way, it's very, very pretty, and it does have a luxury feel, but I don't know if it has like an over-the-top luxury feel, you know? I'm going to go into the shade Smoked Amethyst first. It's a matte mauve, and I'm going to put that through the crease on my BH number 6 brush. Since I'm going to lean into the cranberry tones here, I think this will make a nice transition. I'm packing that through the crease area, bringing it a little bit higher, and then I'm going to blend that with a clean brush in just a second. So far has nice pigmentation though. That's lovely. Off to a good start. Just going to grab a clean brush and blend the edge of that out. Next, I'm going to go into this shade Venomous Void, which is a nice deep plummy shade on a Sigma E36, and I'm going to work that through my crease to deepen it up a little bit. So I'm just going to put that right in the crease hole and start working it back and forth. Bring a little bit of it down onto the corner of the lid as well. The initial application of that shade is a little patchy. Not super in love with the way it blended. I'm going to go in with a smaller brush and see if I can work with it a little bit. This is a NABLA pointed crease brush. I'm thinking maybe if I pack down more of it and then blend more slowly, it'll work. Because it doesn't seem like it's unpigmented or blending away. It just was like grabbing too much on certain spots. I'm going to grab a white concealer. This is the Urban Decay Stay Naked concealer, and I'm going to grab my NABLA Cut Crease Maker brush, and I'm going to cut just the inner corner of this because I want a little space where I can put down a pop of brightness and then like blend it out into like a rich gemstone kind of color on the outer half of the lid. That little bit of like a bright pop there, I think is going to make this look. Just cut it a little bit, just a touch. And I'm bringing that cut just slightly higher than my natural crease just to open the area up. And I'm going to tap the edge with my finger as per usual. On my MAC 242 brush, I'm going to go into the shade Cosmic. This one is like a pink with a gold shifty duochrome, and it's the first duochrome that I'm using. Everybody always talks up the Pat McCrath duochromes a lot, so I'm excited to get this on there. So I'm going to pack it on that inner corner. I don't know how much I see a duochrome shift, but it's a beautiful shade. I'm bringing that shade a little farther along the top line. I'm leaving the lid space more blank closer to the lower lash line because I'm gonna bring that deeper shade in almost at an angle. The way that shimmers is particularly beautiful though, I must say. On that same brush, I'm gonna go into the shade Saturnalia. It's a really, really pretty rich garnet shade. I'm hoping it looks as good on the lid as it does in the pan because it's real juicy looking. I'm gonna start packing that right on the center of the lid. Oh, it's nice and red. That's really, really pretty. Bringing that right up to the edge of where we put down that deep plummy purple shade. And I'm gonna go back in with the same brush we used to put that shade through the crease to blend it in with the red. I'm gonna go back into the duochrome shade Cosmic, a Real Techniques brush, and I'm just gonna tap over the area where that pink meets the red to blend them together a little bit better. And I think putting that pink duochrome over the edge of the red is gonna make it really pop too. I concealed and put down some powder, and now I'm ready to work on the lower lash line. And to start, I'm gonna grab one of my favorite eye pencils. This is the Alkaline pencil from Urban Decay. I'm just gonna run that right through the waterline. I'm gonna bring a little bit of it through my lower lashes too, just as a sticky base, because you know, why not? Buff that in with the LUXE 111 mini brush. On that same LUXE 111 mini, I'm gonna go back into the shade Saturnalia. I don't know how to say that word. I feel like it comes out of my mouth weird. But I'm gonna take that shade and I'm gonna buff it into the lower lash line, bringing it from the inner corner pretty much like 2/3 of the way out. And on that same brush, I'm gonna go back into Venomous Void, which is the matte shade that we used in the crease, and I'm going to push that into the outer 1/3 and connect it to what we did on the top. I cleaned any excess shadow off my NABLA pointed crease brush, and I'm just gonna go around the edge of that and begin to blend it so that it blends out because, you know, we don't want our eyeshadow unblended. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. And on my LUXE 141 mini, which is really similar but clean, I'm gonna go into this shade Lunar Champagne and use it as an inner corner highlight. I'm not wetting it because I want to see how it performs without me wetting it, you know what I mean? I put on House of Lashes Stella Luxe and I finished up my skin, and I am going back and forth with myself about whether I want to keep it really simple on the lips or overcomplicate things, and I think that I'm going with overcomplicate. I am going to first line my lips with the Urban Decay Torch pencil. This is actually an eye pencil, but I use it on my lips all the time because it's a beautiful burnt orange. I'm going to fill them in with the Fenty Freckle Fiesta lipstick, and then I'm going to put a little bit of this on the top. Why? Because why not? Why not do the most, you know? And this little cranberry pumpkin extravaganza is the first look. The second look, it's been a couple of days since I filmed the first look because I had some things going on this week. However, I'm pretty sure I started with Smoked Amethyst in the first look, and we're gonna do that again basically because there are not a whole hell of a lot of transition options in this palette, actually. I whitened my teeth yesterday and they hurt now. Ow. So I'm gonna grab Smoked Amethyst and I'm gonna go through my crease with my BH number 6 brush. Again, just using this as a transition because it seems like the only transition-ish matte shade in this palette, really. And toward the end, I'm going to flick it out just a little bit. This shade I found blended beautifully in the first look, and I'm recalling now that the second shade was a little bit difficult to blend in the moment. Like while I was doing it, I had to really work for it, but it wound up being a beautiful blend in the end. It was just like I had to blend a lot to get there. Just going over the edge of that with a clean brush to diffuse the edge a bit. On a BH number 7 brush, I'm gonna go into this brown shade called Major Mahogany. I'm gonna put a little bit of that through my crease, start to deepen that up just a little. I'm feeling this shade is going to perform similarly to the burgundy shade that I was talking about. And going back on my number 6 brush with a little bit more of that amethyst shade. Keep softening. See, it's just not, it doesn't like to move once you put it down, but it's not patching. It's not lifting, it's just you have to keep blending and blending. I don't think I hate it, but I don't think I'm like obsessed with it either. All right, I just realized that the color that I've been using this whole time is called Dragonfly, and I thought it was Smoked Amethyst, and I'm an idiot. maybe I just, you know what? Whenever the names are on the back, oh God, I fuck it up every time. I don't know what this one is called. I think it is smoked amethyst. When I thought this one was smoked amethyst, it's this one. All I know is I'm gonna go into this one, I'm gonna use it across my lid. I'm gonna take this Real Techniques brush and I'm going to pack it on the inner and outer portions of my lid. I'm gonna start at my lash line and I'm gonna bring that all the way up to where we put that brown shade in the crease. That one was called Mahogany. That one makes sense, you know what I mean? It better be called Mahogany because it looks like mahogany, and if it's not, then you know what, then I'm just straight up confused. Also, I'm gonna pack that on the inner corner. I got a little bit in the center there, that's okay. We're gonna, it'll be fine. This one is indeed giving me quite some amount of fallout. I don't know how much you can see it, but boy, it's there. I'm gonna take some of the same shade on my Sigma E36 and I'm gonna bring that right across the top of the lid through the crease as well. I'm just using little tiny baby ass circular motions to work that into the crease shades. That color is blending really beautifully with the other two, but my God, the fallout right now. Holy bejesus. And then in the center, where there's still a little bit open there, even though I got a lot of that color down onto the lid, I am going to go into this shade. This one should be Dragonfly, right? Like, that has to be Dragonfly. I'm going to pick that up on my ring finger. This is like a duochrome shade, and I'm gonna pop it in the center of the lid. I'm also going to bring it over the darker shade that we put toward the sides because I think it'll layer nicely over that and create a nice effect. And that, my friends, is what I'm going for here. Kind of like a dragonfly wing effect. I got so much of that on my cheek. It's almost hard to believe that that is real, but the lid looks so good. A little bit more of that smoked amethyst shade and bring it back through the crease again to blend that. God, the fallout is fucking bananas though. Wow. Big wow. Okay, I concealed, and I put down all of the powder so that we could catch the fallout because good gravy, the fallout, I'm gonna go through my waterline with the Urban Decay Rockstar pencil. It's a nice deep purple shade. I think it's gonna go really great with what we've got going on here. With a small brush, I'm just gonna go back and forth over that to smear it around so it's not so harsh. On a LUXE 111 mini brush, I'm gonna go into this shade here. I think this one is called Fuchsia Shock. That makes sense. Those things add up. Why is this so confusing for me? You guys are gonna be like, Nicole is a moron and she can't read the back of a palette. Anyway, I'm gonna put it on about the outer third. Ooh, that looks really pretty over that. Maybe I'll put some more. Maybe I'll go further with this because that looks good. Yes, I'm bringing it in further because that looks really nice. And on that same brush, I'm gonna go back into Smoked Amethyst again, and I'm going to use that to blend that shade at the end and connect it up into the shades on the top so it makes a little bit more sense. If it was just like a jump from one to the other, it wouldn't make sense. And with the same BH number 7 that I used earlier, I'm just gonna go over the edges of both of those shades and blend them out. Might have a little bit of that more mauve tone left on it, which will help us blend, but not add too much of it back into the mix. I'm gonna go back into Dragonfly on a clean pencil brush. This time I'm going to dampen it a little bit, and I'm gonna use that without any color underneath it to highlight the inner corner. I also have some of the eyeshadow in my eyeball, which I think Fallout fell up. That Dragonfly shade is stunning though, I must say. Really, really pretty. No matter how I use it, over the purple, over the dark purple, by itself, it's just real nice. All right, I put on House of Blushes Stella Luxe again, and I finished up my skin, and I'm going to add a lip to this look. I'm going to keep it very, very simple, but I'm going to use a new product that I am very excited about. So first, this one isn't new. I'm going to use the Bodyography Heatherberry lip pencil to line my lips. This is very close to my natural lip color. I always say I will link it down below because a lot of you always want a color that is similar to my lip color, and that is the closest I have found so far. This is the BUXOM Full On Plumping Lip Cream in the color Spiked Apple Cider. This is from their fall collection. First of all, I love the Full On Plumping Lip Creams and the Full On Plumping Lip Glosses. They are some of my favorite glosses in the history of ever, but these are from their fall collection, and this one and the other apple-y kind of one are apple cider scented, and the other two are pumpkin latte scented, and they are fantastic. Enough rambling. I'm going to use spiked apple cider, and I think it's going to be a nice accompaniment to this because it'll be like a nice, pretty, glossy look, but not too overpowering, so we get like the focus on this really, really pretty dragonfly wing kind of a shade we've got going on here. And this is the second look. Damn, my lips smell good. Well, I suppose that we're fucking done then, aren't we? I don't know why I said it that way, but we're done with the two looks now. And quite frankly, I'm a little bit torn about this palette. So first off, the upsides. The packaging's really pretty. It is on the luxurious side. I think that the colors in here are beautiful. And the finished result that I got from both looks, I think were really pretty. I liked both of them a lot. These shimmers, like especially the multi-chrome shimmers, are really outstandingly pretty. And the mattes are very pigmented, although you do have to work to blend them a little bit more than I prefer. Now, the downsides, well, that last one was kind of like a half downside. The downsides though, the real ones, oh my God, the fallout. Like, I have fallout, I swear, there's fallout between my toes right now. There's fallout in my underwear, it's in my cleavage. The fallout was absolutely batshit. I also just wanted to point out that with this look, I am seeing a little bit of fading almost at the ends, and I've only been wearing this for like 10 minutes now. So I'm not sure if maybe I just over blended and didn't like look hard enough and realize until right now, or if I'm actually losing some pigment as I sit here. Either way, there is a little bit of patchiness on these outer corners, which I'm not in love with. The final con is the price tag. Now, again, this one is $78. They're usually $125. From what I understand, these are shades that have been previously used in other palettes, and they're also smaller pans. Now, personally, I would much rather a very expensive brand give us smaller pans and then I pay half the price, because most likely I'm not going to go through a whole eyeshadow palette anyway, and I think that's the case for a lot of people, so that doesn't bother me. I actually appreciate that. But even at $78, whew, that is a hefty price tag when I feel like you can get really good quality eyeshadows that are really interesting and pretty for, well, I don't know, a tenth of the price sometimes. That's not to say that it's always not worth it. It really is up to what you prefer in eyeshadows, whether you like to collect luxurious things or not, and what your budget is, quite frankly. If I was never going to use this on my channel, personally for me, it would never be worth it to spend that much money on this palette. But that's just me. Maybe you feel differently. As a matter of fact, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. I would love to know if you think it's worth it to spend that much money on Pat McGrath. I don't think that there's an eyeshadow in the world that's good enough to pay over $70. That's just where I stand. Let me know which of these two looks you preferred. Let me know, I don't know, what you're doing today. I don't care. I just like chatting with you guys in the comments. So whatever you have to say it. Please don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. It's very helpful and I would really appreciate it. And also, if you're new around here, subscribe, because I mean, I think we had a good time today. What do you think? You lasted all the way to the end of this video, which means that you didn't hate it. Hear me out. Subscribe. I don't think you hate the next one either. If you want to keep up with me between videos, I am at Miss Quinface over on Instagram, and I keep my stories updated over there quite often. Yesterday, I made a really delicious pumpkin cake and I posted it on there, and I also post previews of this makeup and other things like lip art, and I've been really like enjoying reels and stuff lately, so yeah, come find me over there. I would love to have you. I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I appreciate you guys hanging out, spending some time with me talking about makeup, and I will see you in the next one.